Thank you, Madam Chair, and Administrator Zelen, good to see you. Really looking forward to you coming up to Alaska in a couple weeks, and want to work with your team on your schedule. I want to put up a chart here. Senator Markey, Senator Schiff. It's a chart that I like to trot out a lot because it's really important. It gets to the key of so many issues in my state. Senator Schiff was talking about legacy. This is the ultimate legacy. This is a study from the American Medical Association on life expectancy in America. Red, yellow, orange, that's people declining life expectancy. Light blue, blue, purple is life expectancy going up. My state, the North Slope, Aleutian Island chain, Northwest Arctic Borough actually increased the most of any state in the country. 13 years, my constituents were living longer. So you want to talk about legacy? I ask my constituents, what's more important in terms of a policy outcome than are your constituents living longer? I don't think there's an answer. That's the key. That's a legacy. Why did that happen in Alaska? Why? I'll tell you why. These are almost all Alaska Native communities. First, they started at a very low life expectancy, and then responsible resource development happened. Yes, oil and gas and mining in these communities, fisheries in these communities. That's what happened. And my colleagues, unfortunately, on the other side of the aisle, and Joe Biden and Barack Obama and every left-wing radical environmental group would do everything in their power to stop responsible resource development from happening. So in my state, this is a matter of life and death, which is why I'm excited that you're coming up with the Secretary of Interior and the Secretary of Energy, because you're coming to these places in America where people are living longer because of responsible resource development. So I want to thank you, because my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are not supportive of this. And when they go to shut down all the North Slope, where the responsible resource development, where people have lived 13 years longer, and they're starting to block it, trying to block it, that's all they do is block it, it's a matter of life and death. So when people talk about legacy, when people talk about these issues, I know what the legacy is. The people I represent are actually living longer, and there's nothing more important. And you're going to be part of that team when you come up to Alaska, so I appreciate it. Let me get to one of these issues. They're living longer because they have things like gymnasiums, in health centers, in hospitals, and yes, clean drinking water, which most Americans take for granted. So one issue I want to talk to you about is, in your confirmation hearing, you committed to me to work with me on clean water, drinking water, sanitation, flush toilets, running water. I have thousands of my constituents, almost all Alaska Native, who don't have those things that most Americans take for granted. By the way, you're a veteran, I'm a veteran. You'll see when you come to Alaska, these are some of the most patriotic people in the country. Alaska Natives serve at higher rates in the military than any other ethnic group in the country. They bled for their country. So as you know, I care a lot about this issue. And I was glad to see that in your budget, you increased your budget on drinking water and water infrastructure programs, which was great. So thank you on that. I do want to ask about the community change grants. I understand why you've looked at these grants in a problematic way. A lot of it is problematic. Some of you, though, some of those grants, as you know, have gone to clean water, drinking, sanitation. Huslia, Alaska, the village of Huslia is one. Can I get your commitment, Mr. Zeldin, to continue to work with me on these issues with communities like Huslia, who, look, they were just applying for grants to get more sanitation, so people can live longer. Can I get your commitment on that? And
yes,
if
Senator,
you want to
enthusiastically, yes.
And are you going to make sure that programs in terms of these critical investments will have an opportunity, if they were canceled during the community change grants program, can reapply or get directed funding, again, $20 million for the village of Hooslia and others, for these sanitation issues, which are very important.
Senator, and you've previously reached out and you fight hard for the people of Alaska, including outreach on these grants. I would look forward to an opportunity to be able to work with you on each of them. As we're having this conversation in the middle of the fiscal year, money is going to continue to get out the door over the course of the rest of the fiscal year, and I believe that there will be many opportunities here for us to be able to work on these causes that you're advocating for.
And just to make that 100% clear, on the issue of clean water, flush toilets, which, you know, in my community, some of my communities, Senator Kelly deals with this on some of his native reservations, that continues to be a priority of yours, as you mentioned to me during your confirmation process, and you'll continue to work with me on those issues in Alaska, and you'll see some of it when you're up there.
Yes, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.